up, you guys? It's Yaz, and I am back today with a highly requested video from you guys. Underneath the last video that I uploaded, you guys wanted me to go into detail about how I study, how I take notes, and how I have thus far passed my classes. So without further ado, I'll get right into the video. Alright, so behind me, as you can see, is my little studying nook, my little area that I use when I'm studying. I'm definitely trying to transform it, make it my own, and kind of, you know, make it cuter. But as of right now, this is what I have. When it comes to studying for your classes, I always suggest taking notes, making note cards, outlining your chapters, and doing tons of practice questions. Me, I tend to learn more if I'm doing more questions. I study, I'm reading my stuff pretty frequently, but if you're not tested, you don't really know if you know it, you know? So I love doing practice questions. So during this term, I basically use this pink binder for all three of my classes. Nothing fancy, I got it from Walmart, and all my notes are in this binder because it's been much easier for me to do it this way. The main class that I really have to study for is my A&P class. Sociology and lifespan are pretty cool. I just like read over my notes, I make sure I just read my chapters ahead of time and pay attention in lectures, and overall I've been doing fine. It doesn't take much from me to, you know, do well in those classes. However, for A&P, that is the class that I have to definitely break down my notes. It takes a lot more effort, making note cards, the whole 9 yards. Now, with this class, my outlining isn't super in detail simply because the book is super in detail, so it's really hard to outline the book itself because it's so much going on. So with that being said, I kind of just like outline in my book, if that makes sense. I don't have my book with me and I'm so sorry about that, but yeah, I usually outline in my book, and then I type up the checkpoint questions throughout the chapter, and then I print those out and keep those in my notes. I just use those to test myself and to make sure I'm hitting those checkpoints that are in the chapter and making sure I know those, because those are definitely important. Usually with each class that you take, your teacher's going to provide you with, usually there's a PowerPoint. I know most classes that I've took always have a PowerPoint, and most professors give that to you. In my case, I do, so that's what I do. I always follow along with the PowerPoint during class. I used to print out all the slides, but that took a lot of paper, so what I've been doing lately is making notes as I go, and then printing out the charts and like the figures that the PowerPoints provide me with, so I can use those for my notes and have those to look at and to keep in my binder. Also, what I like to do next is with this class specifically, like I mentioned in my vlog, if you guys watched that one about me preparing for finals or midterm, it was one of the two. With this class, it provides me with a code that I can register my book online, and they have interactive activities, practice questions, test questions, and all that jazz. I go through the questions. What I do is I type up all the questions that I don't know, and I make a list. Like, I just list them, because these questions are the ones that are from the book exams, because my professor doesn't make our finals, our midterms, exams, all that stuff. It's all from the corporate takes their questions from the book. So with that being said, it's really important. I don't care if I'm typing up all the questions that are on there because I don't know them. I type up all the questions. So I have all the questions in my notes printed out. I always go through those for the test and all that stuff, and it helps so much because a lot of the stuff that they give you on the website are in the test. But also, if you don't have the interactive website, what I've noticed is that the questions that they give you on the virtual book website, they also provide you with the same kind of questions in those checkpoints. So they're definitely pulling questions from those checkpoints and those questions at the end of the book. So usually after I have outlined my chapters, I've answered the questions, the checkpoints throughout the book, I've answered the questions at the end of the book, and then I have also made a list of the questions that I got online. I go back and I usually focus on the questions, just because those are like the practice questions that they give you. If you read your material in the book, you'd be surprised how much your subconscious picks up if you look at those slides or if you look at that book. So, after I do those questions, there's always some that just still stump me. Like, I can look at them 100 times and I still won't really remember them. I won't remember the answer. I won't remember. I couldn't give you an explanation about it because it just slips my mind completely. So with that, that's where my note cards come in. Basically, these are all like the questions that I still didn't get after studying and I just was not getting it. And this is like a day before the final exam, 2 days before the final exam, I would do these, and these are what I'm focusing on, that I'm going through and all those stuff, because I've studied everything else. Everything else is pretty cool, so this is what I need to focus on, and this is what I always do right before the exam. That's basically all I've been doing to study. It's just all about those tips that I mentioned in my previous videos. If you haven't watched those, definitely go back and watch those, because that's where I actually talk about how it's helped me, the benefits of them and stuff like that. This is how I lay my stuff out. This is what's been working for me. Like I said, I am still super new to this stuff, so if you guys have any suggestions for me, definitely comment them down below, because this journey together, and I appreciate it because your girl need help too, you feel me? So if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know. I just found these tips helpful, and if you guys want to see any other videos, definitely comment them down below and I will get to them, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!